comments. Hello everyone, let's have more news about the Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. The Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks, and Denver Nuggets have reportedly expressed interest in signing Boston Celtics free agent center Al Horford, according to a report by Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. Scotto added that the Celtics are also hoping to re-sign Horford, while other prominent free agent big men like Julius Randle, Naz Reid, Santi Aldama, Brook Lopez, Luke Cornett, and Clint Capella have already agreed to terms on new contracts. Horford is one of the few proven veteran centers still unsigned. Horford averaged 9.0 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 2.1 assists in 27.7 minutes per game. 60 games last season with the Celtics on .423, 363, 895 shooting. In 11 postseason games, Horford averaged 8.0 points, 6.0 rebounds, and 1.8 assists in 31.6 minutes per game on. As the Warriors search for a solid rim protector who can stretch the floor and lessen the center workload on Draymond Green, Horford may be the last remaining free agent option that checks all of those boxes. Horford is far from a perfect player, and it's hard to feel confident banking on a player who will turn 40 in June, but the Warriors have limited financial flexibility. If the listed teams are the only competition for Horford, the Warriors would seem like the favorites. The Lakers have been more heavily linked to DeAndre Ayton, who is expected to become a free agent in a few days after he clears waivers following a buyout deal with the Blazers. The Cavaliers, Knicks, and Nuggets all have entrenched starting bigs at both power forward and center. Golden State is seemingly the only team among the listed suitors that can offer Horford a starting spot outside of Boston. Now let's go to another video. Don't forget to leave a like.
Closer to where I'm from.
Yeah, JK, Jonathan Kuminga,
Right.
like what's going to happen with him? Ramon and I have been talking about it. There seems to be optimism in the Warriors camp that he will re-sign. He will be a restricted free agent. This market's not great for him. As one NBA GM told me, is like, what has he proven to be worth what his agent wants, which is $25+ million. Who has that money for him? Why does he deserve that? But then on the flip side, if he returns to the Warriors, like, what's his role?
And can he reach his full potential there?
Yeah, and so if I'm Jonathan, I'm in a really weird spot right now. The money's not here this summer. Maybe it's next summer, but either way, there's a lot of question marks.
Well, look, I think the Warriors want him back. The question is, does he want to be back?
Yeah.
I know there are teams that like Jonathan Kuminga. They just don't have cap space. So it has to be a sign and trade. And from what I understand, the Warriors are not going to give him up not assets that they don't like in return. They want to keep him unless they get something great back for him. So he can go and negotiate a deal with another team.
Right.
Chicago likes him. Miami likes him. You know, let's
Sacramento.
Sacramento. Let's see if the Phoenix Suns. They liked him a lot. They had him in the original construction for Kevin Durant back in February.
Sure.
But
I like nice cars.
But do they have players that the Warriors would want to take back in a sign and trade?
Right.
And from my understanding, the Warriors they don't like anything right now that's being discussed.
When you look at the Golden State Warriors, and I think about their run against the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jonathan Kuminga showed what he can be in those final couple of games without Steph Curry. It's about whether or not he's going to be able to reach that full potential here. We just got some news in from our senior insider, Shams Charania, as we've been talking here. Kevon Looney, as we're talking about the Golden State Warriors, he's agreed to a 2-year, $16 million deal with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Wow.
Oh, end of an era.
Is reporting. So it's really an end of an era,
End of an era, man.
Sad people in the Bay right now.
He's been such a key piece of this team of many championships as well in the Bay.
As odd as it might sound, he may get his jersey retired one day.
Yeah, he could.
He's kind of the hard hat guy for the Warriors, done everything they asked him to do. He was a guy in the locker room. You know where he's going to hurt the most? He's been the biggest mentor.
Yeah.
Like, people think about Steph, and they think about Draymond as a mentor. Nobody's been a bigger mentor for the young guys in that roster than
Well, I think they're also looking for another center, and they're in the discussions with Al Horford, some other of the centers that are out there. And you know, if he's got an offer like this, he's got to take that money.
Yeah, but for 10 years with the Golden State Warriors, that was a heck of a run. So
great
again,
move by
Kevon
Joe
Looney.
Dumars for his young guys.
Yeah,
Kevon Looney on his way to the New Orleans Pelicans. While we're talking about the Golden State Warriors and you're asking the kinds of questions about what money they can afford to pay Jonathan Kuminga while still trying to maybe upgrade at center, that sounds like a job for Mr. Money Moves. Bobby Marks, make it work for us, please, sir.
Well, we're going to look at two things right now. We're going to look at the center market right now. This is a priority for Golden State, certainly the playoff loss against Minnesota. Here's a name to keep an eye on. Former Celtics, Al Horford, okay? That would certainly fill some of the need that Golden State needs at the center position. Everyone was talking about Jonathan Kuminga. we have him projected at a $20 million number right now. The problem with Jonathan Kuminga is there's no salary cap space out there. The trade, the Michael Porter Jr., Cam Johnson trade, has eliminated most of the Nets' cap space to go out and do an offer sheet on Jonathan Kuminga. So he's basically in a waiting game. He can take a $7.9 million qualifying offer or a team-friendly deal. And I think that's going to be the key for the Warriors offseason. Certainly a signing trade potentially also. Brian had mentioned, I heard him over there when he was asking about Cam Johnson, that Cam Johnson, Michael Porter Jr. trade. That unlocks the non-tax mid-level exception, $14.1 million for the Denver Nuggets to go out and use.
So we say hello to our reporter, Young Masuk, who spent a lot of time with Golden State last season. Do the Warriors believe, as we're talking about potentially someone like Al Horford, they are a piece away here from being able to maximize and go for one more championship with Steph Curry home?
With Kevon Looney gone now, all signs look like it points to Al Horford. League sources have been saying that it seems like the Warriors and Horford seem like the perfect fit and locked in. And when I would have discussions with Steve Kerr along the season, he would talk about how the Warriors can play two different ways now. They play their motion offense with Steph Curry, but with the addition of Jimmy Butler, they can go ISO Jimmy. And still, Al Horford would fit that perfectly because, one, they've already said they don't want to play Draymond Green at center the entire season. They just can't afford to do that. They could do it in spurts, like in the playoff runs and how they made that run at the end of the season, but they need Al Horford. He can come in, he can stretch the floor to stretch five, he can pass in that motion offense, he can set screens for them, and defensively, he still has something left in the tank, so he would be a good fit. After that, that's where it gets interesting with Malika, because I think they have to wait on Jonathan Kuminga to see if there's a sign and trade out there, perhaps with a Miami or with a Chicago, as Ramona mentioned. In those cases, though, what really is going to come in those packages? Is it Duncan Robinson? Is it Jaime Jaquez? It's going to have to be more than that. And on the Chicago end, would it be Nikola Vucevic, a guy that they were linked to last year before the trade deadline? But they would need more than Vucevic as well. That's why if they bring back Kuminga, then Steve Kerr has said, we're going to spend the early portion of the season trying to see if he can fit in with Steph, with Jimmy and Draymond, something that I think Golden State already knows is not really a great fit. And then after that, maybe they can trade him.
Or they can just chill and see what happens with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because that is a big or. If I think the Warriors like their team. Are they going to beat the Thunder with this roster? Probably not. But I think they like their team. They can maybe make a move on the periphery. They have access to a lot of their future draft picks. It may be worth it for them to sit there and wait for the possibility of a big transaction. They sat there and they were patient last year. They ended up with Jimmy Butler. It's possible that they could get Kuminga into a contract that they could still intend to trade down the line, whether it's for a player like Giannis or somebody else.
And that would be the best thing that could happen to Jonathan Kuminga. I just think he's at a point. If he's still auditioning for the Golden State Warriors about fit and minutes and how, I'm sorry, that something's there that he needs a new set of eyes on him. And I think Jonathan Kuminga is a guy that gives them this athletic ability they desperately need. They don't have a lot of athletes on this roster. But it's obvious with what happened to him at the end of the year, 4 DNPs in the Houston series. Finally, they go to him when Curry gets hurt in the Minnesota series. The guy averages 24 points a game over those last 4 games on 56% from the field against the top shelf defense. So he let people know, this is kind of what I'm capable of, but I just think he's there, and there's a cynicism around him with the organization that's going to be difficult for him to break through.
I agree with you 1,000%. As a player, when you're in an organization, you want to feel wanted. You want to know that the organization wants you. They want you on the floor. They believe in you. That's a situation that's been kind of tricky for Jonathan Kuminga. But I look on the defensive end of that, and I say I love Al offensively. I know he'll come in. He'll pick up right where he needs to. He's a veteran. He has basketball intelligence. But on the defensive end, is he a rim protector? Is he going to be a guy that's going to get a stop down there, protect the rim, bang with those big guys? I look at that situation as almost similar to having Draymond down there. I love Al offensively, but defensively, I think you need a little more size down there to take that banging and protect the rim.
This has always been the question for the Golden
State. Happening. Ben Rogers has been keeping you updated on the rumors. Well, now it's real. And folks, a legend on the Warriors is gone. Kevon Looney, 2 years, $16 million with the New Orleans Pelicans. Life Sports Agency CEO Todd Ramsar and the Pelicans reached a deal tonight for the 3-time NBA champion to depart the Warriors after a decade. Looney, thank you for your service. We appreciate you so much. Your role diminished kind of last year. Trace Jackson-Davis, Quinton Post, but we would not have won our championships without you, especially 2022. Your defense, your rebounding. We lost the center, folks. we lost a center. So who do we have as centers? Quentin Post is your only center on the roster. Trace Jackson-Davis is your only center on the roster. A second-year player, going into second year, someone going into the third year. We need a center. And folks, we're going to break down who's still out there. There's been trades. What's happening with Kuminga? Warriors haven't made any moves. We're 3 hours in, 2 hours in. Why? Because the Kuminga restricted free agency. But there was a trade with the Nets. Cam Johnson is going to the Nuggets. Michael Porter Jr. going to Brooklyn. And that was the one sign and trade people talked about. Kuminga's options are very limited, so he doesn't come back to the Warriors. Restricted tender, $7.9 million. Or does he try to find something in the open market less than that $25-ish million he wants? A lot of teams don't have cap space. So a lot to break down. Warriors Digest, please subscribe. We keep you updated on everything. Let's break it into you. So again, Kevon Looney is gone. Warriors, $173 million cap space right now. Who's out there as a center we could go get? Miles Turner is going back to the Pacers most likely. Brook Lopez, $10 million. Not a bad deal. Wagner, $7 million. Aiden, $10 million. I saw the comments. I'm not an Aiden fan. He'd be nice on the bench. But I would take Al Horford. He fits the Warriors offense with his versatility, switching, can make threes, can play in the post, inside out, good team player. You know, a bit older, doesn't help you get a little bit more athletic, but fits kind of the core we have. If you look at small forwards, bump this up. Kuminga, again, trying to get $20, $25 million. If the Warriors at 173, folks, and you go right here, if Kuminga gets $20 million, that puts you at 190, 190, and you can't go over the second apron. So 36 minus 20, you'll need to be looking at the 25-26 column. Down the bottom, total salary would be 190 if Kuminga comes in at 20 million. 36 minus 20, 16 million. That means you have $16 million if Kuminga comes in at 20 million right here to then go get another player. So centers, Hartford at 7 million, they're projecting would fit that. Now you would have $8 million then to be able to fill out the rest of your roster 12 through 15. Not a lot of money there. If Kuminga doesn't come back, then maybe they do pry Miles Turner away. A Brook Lopez at 10 million plus Kuminga at 20 million puts you at 30 million, $6 million for the rest of the roster. It's not a lot there. Are they going to be able to make a trade? Are they going to be able to make a move? Let's double check. What's been happening, folks? Because this all plays a part. With Kuminga not signing and anything right now, it slow rolls it. So we're going to update this real time as this video. And again, when you're watching this, things may be different. Free agent center, Luke Kennard, 4 years, 41 million, so 10 million per year. Spurs, lost that one. We talked about Looney. Bruce Brown, going back to the Nuggets where he won a championship. Didn't work out after he left. Free agent guard, Kevin Porter Jr., 2 years, 11 million. Bucks. Ty Jerome, we said maybe backup point guard for us. 3 years, 28 million. Good payday for him. Basically $9 million per year with the Grizzlies. Nuggets, we talked about Cam Johnson and Porter Jr. That makes the Nuggets much better. He's a better defender for the Nuggets, better three-point shooter, and Michael Porter Jr. can go to the Brooklyn where they're rebuilding. Backup point guard, former Warriors point guard, D'Angelo Russell, going to Dallas. He'll be playing as a starter until Irving comes back. Trey Jones, Bulls, 24 million, 3 years, 8 million. So you're kind of seeing Kuminga wants 20 million. A lot of these players are getting 8 to 12 million per year. Kuminga wants 20 million after 4 years. Has he done a lot to get that? Probably not. Jake LaRavia, 2 years, $12 million. Cole Anthony, Grizzlies looking. Jaren Jackson Jr., congratulations to him, got paid. Cam Spencer, Grizzlies. Any other? Dorian Finney-Smith, we talked about on this channel. 4 years, $53 million with the Rockets. Rockets are having the best offseason of anybody. 4 years, $53 million. That means he's getting basically $13 million-ish a year. Again, you're kind of seeing this is the new range, 8 to 13, 8 to 15 million. So that is where if Kuminga thinks he can get $20 million a year, it's tough. Look at the other small forwards out there, 10, 8, 5, 5. It's not out there. Looney got $8 million a year, 10-year veteran. Miles Turner, $25 million. So I don't think Kuminga, folks, is coming in at $20 million. I think he's going to take a team-friendly deal with the Warriors at this point. Brooklyn is gone, so there's not a lot happening for Kuminga now. No other teams have the cap space. They're already signing players. He's not going to accept the 7.9 tender unless he wants to do a one-year deal and bet on himself. Then that would actually help the Warriors a lot because 7.9 plus 170, 177, and 36 minus 8 is 28. So you have some space. You could go get 2 centers, Lopez, Hartford. Hartford can maybe be power forward in center. Small forwards out there. There's stuff that you could do, which would really help out this team. If we go to free agent list, give me 1 second. Sorry that it does that. I'm just typing on my computer. Let's go to my screen again. As this is doing real time, all availability. Again, seeing who's just signed. John Collins. He opted in with Utah. Javon Carter. LeBron James. So you're seeing, again, we just did the Santos unsigned. If you want to go position center, who's still out there. Bull, I saw a couple people, but he doesn't do a lot. Thomas Bryant's a backup center. Clint Capella, past his prime. Jackson Hayes, athletic. But not a lot of stuff out there, folks. Alex Lynn is a big guy, can get you some rebounds. Larry Nance Jr. is not a center. Are you kidding me? Forward center. Naz Reid got his payday. Tristan Thompson could be a back of the bench player, but not a lot of centers out there. And you lost Kevon Looney, so you need to go get somebody. Then you look at guards. If you want a 3-and-D guard, not a lot out there right now, folks. Not a lot out there. The big players are getting signed. So this is where Kuminga and Warriors are kind of getting, hey, we need somebody. You don't have anybody coming to you. Let's see. Oh, Clint Capella. To the Rockets. Where are the Rockets coming from? All this cap space. When you have a young team, rookie deals, you can do this. They're going to hit something hard. There is another center who's gone. So, folks, again, the big deal, and maybe we'll do a video later on when it's all quiet. Looney is gone. Thank you so much for your service, Looney. We appreciate you. You did so much for
the Golden State Warriors were weighing their options at the center position heading into NBA free agency on Monday, June 30th, when an opportunity unexpectedly fell into their collective lap. Center DeAndre Ayton, a former number 1 overall pick of the Phoenix Suns, agreed to a buyout with the Portland Trail Blazers on Sunday night. The ultimate result, once he clears waivers on Tuesday, is going to be a hard run at the 7-footer by any and all teams that could use a featured big man, which includes Golden State. Bobby Marks and Ramona Shelburne, both of ESPN, explained the situation via separate X posts on Sunday. DeAndre Ayton is free to sign with any team despite earning greater than 14 domin 1 plus, Marks wrote. The waiver restriction for second apron teams only applies during the regular season. He had 5.6 meters left on an expiring contract. Ayton has to clear waivers in 48 hours, Shelburne added. Portland had a glut of centers after the draft, and it's very hard to trade a player making as much as he does. Expect teams that need a center to be very active with him. The Warriors can offer Ayton a solid situation based on what he says he wants, which is a shot to play for a title. Golden State went to the playoffs last season, won a round, and may have done more damage if Stephen Curry hadn't strained his hamstring in Game 1 of the conference semifinals against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Curry and Draymond Green each have 4 championship rings, while new addition Jimmy Butler led the Miami Heat to 3 Eastern Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals over a 5-year span. However, the Warriors will have to compete with other teams for Ayton's services. Chief among them is likely to be the Los Angeles Lakers, who also made the playoffs this year and also lost to the Timberwolves, at least in part due to a lack of interior strength and size. And you, fan, what do you think about DeAndre Ayton's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.